All right, we're actually on air, just as one of our last participants joined us. We're just one down. We're having some technical problems, but we'll deal with it.
As usual.
As usual, this is normal. If you've never watched this before, this is nothing new under the sun. But welcome back to the CosCast Season 2. Yay! We're back after a well-deserved summer holiday, as usual. I am Pixiedust Cosplay. I am your main host, and with me I have my two very talented co-hosts.
Annabella Cosplay.
And Enyassia Cosplay.
Thank you, ladies. And two of our guests this week from Team Norway who competed in the NCC. We have JC from Fandomily Cosplay.
Fandomily Cosplay.
Yes. And Kanuto Cosplay.
Hey.
Hey, and we're also missing the Fuzzy Teddy who had a crash on his computer just minutes before the CosCast started, so he'll be joining us as soon as possible. But before he does that, let's talk about some of our participants. They can introduce themselves and talk a little bit about their cosplays. So, JC, if you want to kick it off, maybe? Yay! He's back. There we go. Didn't have to stall for time for long. That's good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up some pictures on the screen from the cosplay you competed with in the NCC, and you can talk a little bit about that and yourself as a cosplayer. Does that sound fair?
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Preview and image share. There we go. So, JC, you can go first. You can have the honors.
Ooh. Yeah. Where should I start? This is the result of my blood, sweat, and selling my soul to the devil. Worked really hard for 3 months without sleep or food or anything. So, yeah. I'm not sure what else to say.
Well, this is you're cosplaying an Awakened from Destiny.
Yes,
right?
It's an Awoken, which is an alien species from the game Destiny. It's a first-person shooter game. Yeah, there's not much to say about that either. If you play Destiny, you know it well, and if you haven't, then you have no clue what I'm talking about.
Like me, I did like your performance, even though I have no idea what the game is at all. I'm so impressed about what you did.
And that was kind of the idea, because I do know that there are a lot of cosplayers who do not know the game. I think there are most guys playing the game and there are most girls cosplaying, so it's a given. But the people who know the game enjoy the cosplay a lot, and also people who don't know the game. So that's good. And well, with my performance, I didn't have a lot of material to go on, which was my biggest problem with doing this cosplay for the NCC. I had no great idea for a performance, because the character is the character you play, and there's not a lot of personality going on. Well, they just run around and shoot, and Ghost does most of the talking and most of the acting. So if I was going to do a performance with this character, it would have to be, well, what I did. I took the character, but I had to make a bit of a different story to make it fun or entertaining for people who didn't love the game or didn't know the game.
Yeah, you played off of Ghost and his personality, basically, which I thought was very clever.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's move on to Kanuto Cosplay.
Okay.
I'll just screen share the photos here. And oh, by the way, that pretty much all of the photos that we're showing here today are taken by Sheila Forsman Photography and Rihanna Fuku, as far as I know.
Yep.
Just an FYI, just to give them credit for their work. But this is you.
Yeah, this is me.
You look so manly and macho.
Very manly.
Yeah, I know. it's so fun because I don't really recognize myself in the pictures, so I get like, I myself get to sort of fan out a bit, like, oh, it looks so amazing, and just not really care that it's actually me in the costume. That doesn't matter.
No, but it's really cool. You look like you have really, you know, defined cheekbones and like a manly face in this photo. It's very good.
Yeah, and the really weird thing is that there was not a lot of makeup going on. There was so much effects with the beard and the mustache and the nose that basically we didn't do much with the makeup. We added some like aging lines, but we could have done more. But eventually we just figured out might as well keep the makeup on sort of the down low, so I don't just sweat it off.
So for those who don't know, although I doubt that there are a lot of those, you're Thorin Oakenshield from The Hobbit.
Yeah, I was Thorin Oakenshield from The Hobbit.
And so this is what did you use this cosplay to qualify with, or did you make it after you qualified for the NCC?
There is a few elements that I already had, like the wig, the beard. I made a new mustache for this competition. I had the big coat, the jacket with the fur on, and I had the crown and the sword. Everything else is made after I made my preliminary for the NCC.
Yeah, so a lot of armor work, basically.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Let's go over to the Fuzzy Teddy Inn then. You may introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah. The Fuzzy Teddy as Hawk from Dragon Age 2.
Yes. And this is by Ukami Photography.
Yeah. That is the old armor.
So you've made a completely new set?
Yes. I took I wanted to remake the armor just to get everything perfect. So I scrapped the old one and made just upgraded it. Basically.
So are these photos of the new version?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's commitment.
Very much so.
Did you make like the armor all by yourself? Like everything?
Yeah. The only thing I've gotten some help with is the belt buckle, which a friend of mine helped 3D print.
Wow.
He also printed the egg on the staff, and I got some really good help from a friend of mine with the light works inside the egg. There's a spinning light inside the egg.
Well, it's good to know that that everyone needs a little bit of help.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
So the next item on my cosplay shopping list is a 3D printer.
I think you can get them on Clarkson for like 11,000.
Yeah, just
And
11,000.
then we can buy a communal 3D printer.
Everyone got 11,000 in their pockets, don't they?
Oh yeah,
Especially
sure. No
on
problem.
payday. You don't need rent or food or anything.
Alright.
Overrated.
Yeah, living is overrated. Everything goes to cosplay. Wow, wouldn't that be nice? Okay, so let's move on a little bit in my program. Let's see. One of our usual, like, normal segments that we do in the show is what have we done cosplay-wise during the last week. So I figured we could do that. And, wow, so I can start. I haven't really done much. The only thing I've done is make a tunic pattern for my Ceres cosplay from The Witcher 3. So I had help from Enyassia and Annabella to make it. So we have a video of that coming out where I look silly covered in plastic wrap.
Took pictures and filmed, so don't give me credit for anything, really.
So yeah, that's me. I'm kind of boring right now. I'm saving up to buy a mannequin, so I can actually make prettier, more well-crafted clothes. How about you, Enyassia?
Well, I haven't done much cosplay-wise, but yesterday my brother and me, we went out into the forest, dressing up, well, with stuff from my cosplay closet, and just had a blast taking pictures in the twilight.
Very cool. Annabella?
Well, I cosplayed the Invisible Woman, so I took a picture of a wall, basically.
I saw that.
I've just been looking for fabrics and patterns and just planning stuff. I haven't really done anything physical.
All right. Well, how about our guests? JC, what about you?
Well, this week I spent most of my time preparing the 3 panels I'm going to do on ToryCon.
Wow, really? What kind of panels are those?
There will be one about seam work, and there will be one about Warbler priming painting, and me and Teddy are going to have a panel together about how to make great shows.
I'll be looking forward to seeing that when I come to ToryCon.
Yeah.
I wish I was going.
Me too.
Next year, ladies, next year.
Yes.
Kanuto, how about you?
I've been on a roll the last few days. Let's see, I made this thing yesterday. This is like supposedly a shoe.
Shoe armor.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. And basically the funny thing is that it's like an 11 centimeter heel, and I'm cosplaying a guy.
Wow.
So, yeah, okay. And I was painting my wolf head a second ago. So I hope that will be done for ToryCon. I'm very optimistic.
So what character are you cosplaying?
I am working on Alucard from Lord of Shadows 2.
Okay, I have no knowledge of this, but it'll probably be awesome. I mean, any man who rocks an 11-inch heel is
11-inch heels and like open shirt and everything, you know.
Sounds amazing.
very much so. And Teddy,
Yeah, basically the same thing as JC, just only the show panel. I've been. I won't say I've been lazy, but I haven't done any cosplay related stuff at all this week.
no, but I imagine you guys have been working your asses off before NCC and that you're taking a well-deserved reprieve.
Yeah.
You're funny.
I instead of working on cosplays, I joined a friend of mine in his small apocalypse.
Okay.
Yeah, a friend of mine turned 40 this summer, and as a birthday party, he arranged a 2 weeks apocalypse camp.
Wow.
Cool.
Hardcore. Was that fun?
I only spent 2 days there, but yeah, it was really fun.
It
So not a full week.
Lasted 2 days and went home happy.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been through that. The next news segment that we're starting this season is cosplay news. And this week, it seems like everyone has been logging on to Cosplay Amino.
Yes. I do not understand shit about that.
A lot of people are
I have
saying that
no
they don't
idea what it
understand
is.
Okay. Well, I did some research, and basically, it's supposed to be a new social network for cosplayers. So kind of like Facebook for cosplayers. So you can like find people and follow them, or be friends, or discuss things and whatever. Sadly,
don't we already have Facebook for that?
yeah, I know, right? But apparently, we need it for reasons. But sadly, I have a Microsoft phone, and they do not have a version for Microsoft phone, so I won't be able to test it out myself. So I'll have to live vicariously through Annabella or Enyassia.
Well, I haven't found it very interesting or fun yet, so.
Then I'm not missing out yet.
Personally, I was like saying no to Facebook for years. So I'm probably gonna say no for that for years
I'm
too.
with you.
I
I don't even like Facebook, so why?
Yeah.
I'm a Facebook addict, so I'm just not gonna jump on that bandwagon. But seriously, I have enough work with Facebook to maintain, so yeah. Just no. But if anyone can explain to us how it actually works, we would be happy to know.
Most of the people I know have just written, I do not know how this works. I do not know how this works. And
Yeah, that seems like it. The gist of it. Also, there's this thing called the Try Guys on BuzzFeed. I don't know if any of you guys have heard about it. No, okay. Well, there are these 4 guys who get challenged to try different things, and recently they got challenged to try cosplay for the first time, and they had to do a show at Anime Expo. And so they have like this 4-part short series about how they have like a anime marathon where they try to get, find cool animes that they're going to cosplay from, and then they make their own versions of cosplays from that series. And it's very funny to watch because a lot of them have never watched anime before. They have no clue what they're doing. So I'm going to put a link to the first episode in the show notes after we finish this this podcast, and then people can go and check that out if they want to.
yeah.
So yay, I did my job. Okay, so let's head over to the main part, which is probably what people have been looking forward to the most, and that is talking to you guys, Team Norway, and asking you questions about the NCC and your costumes and anything else that might come to mind. And before we do that, I'm going to say that everyone who's watching, remember that you can send in questions in the Q&A app through Google+, or you can send questions on YouTube in the comment section, and we'll be checking it throughout the show to make sure that any questions you have get answered. So, ask questions. It's fun. Okay. So before the show, we sent you guys some questions. So hopefully you've had some time to contemplate them. And so we'll start with the first one, which is an easy one. How did you qualify for the NCC? So we can just, go from the left from JC and work our way through it. How did you qualify for the NCC?
Dumb luck. I have no clue. I went to Metricon and I was cosplaying Shishumari because my niece wanted me to, and for some reason I won, and that meant going to the NCC. So, yeah.
Well, it was that easy. You heard it here, folks.
It was that easy.
How about you, Kanuto?
First off, I only made the costume because I was bribed into it by a friend. She bought me like 3 brown sheeps, and she said, I'm going to give you this to make the Thror coat if you make the entire costume. And I'm like, for Thror or for Thorin? And she was like, Thorin, duh. And I was like, okay, fine. And then I was like, okay. I was planning on doing Alucard for Bansaicon, but then it was like, yeah, no, then we just do Thorin. It doesn't matter. So I made Thorin, and like basically my main goal for the Bansaicon was that I was going to go on stage and show my costume. In other words, I was going to be in round 1. Anything after round 1 didn't matter, because I was just going to be in round 1. That was my goal. And then they were like, yeah, now you're in the second round, so you're in the final. And I was like, okay.
Your face.
It was so terrible afterwards because I was like complete care face during like most of the thing. Like on stage, I didn't have stage fright because it didn't matter. Nobody cares. I just had like the most fun I've ever had on stage. After that Bansaicon, my stage fright has been cured. I don't know why, but I like it.
Wow, fantastic.
And then afterwards, it was like basically they started like announcing who won, and I was like on my phone, like wow, this is running over time. We had to go home. And then when they started like announcing second place, and I just sitting there like, who's left? And I had like count on my fingers every act that I liked, and like trying to figure out, because I usually have like a good feel on who is going to win. And it just got me completely off by surprise. Like when they announced it, the host had like come down and get me because I didn't move. I was just sitting there like, I'm very uncomfortable right
You're
now.
like, nope, they must mean someone else. It's not me.
I don't want to be here. If I could crawl into this wall, I would do it. Like every image that you see of me on stage is basically just like this really like questionable, like someone told a really dirty joke and I'm the only person on stage which didn't get it. And then eventually it's like a reboot phase where I just smile and laugh and people thought I was crying and I was like, no, I'm just laughing because this is so weird. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So that's how that went down.
Yeah, so you're kind of like a reluctant messiah or something. It's like, yeah, you're great. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. So how about you, Teddy? How did you qualify?
Yeah, I would just first like to say I was rooting for Kanuto
Oh,
during
go.
that time.
I was rooting for the shower of Metrocon.
I qualified at last year's Tourcon with Hawk. Hawk was created was created with the thought that this is no time limits. I need to get this done, and if there's a convention fitting, I'll go up on stage with it. And Tourcon fitted, so I practiced a fighting sequence. Okay, I have to go to the next round. I want to show this with movie and fight sequence. I was really terrified because I thought I really messed up, but apparently that was just in my head. Because still, as the same thing as Kanuto, when they announced the winner, I was looking at the other contestants backstage and the winner is and they yell out my name, and I walk around. Why is nobody moving?
What's happening?
Everyone's staring at me, and I'm going, why isn't anybody moving? Oh!
No. But the funny part was, at Tourcon, I placed second, and when we were on stage and they were going to announce the winner, we were all looking at you. Oh yeah, we were.
So
we're like,
everyone
Teddy,
knew he was going to win.
Yeah, I was looking at everyone else.
That's really funny. So no one really expects to win when they go up there. It's just pure nerve and like, okay, I'll try, and if not, meh.
But here's the kind of fun fact, because first there was Tourcon, where Teddy won and I placed second. Then there was Metrocon, where I won and June got second.
I didn't get
And then
second.
there was
I didn't get
Bandcycle, where
any. I didn't place. No, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't get a placement at all. Not a Metrocon.
Okay.
Nope.
I was sure you got second.
No, something from Madoka, like that black dress, got second.
Well, whatever. Someone got second.
Then it wasn't a fun fact after all.
No.
I'm sorry,
Aw.
but fact has to be facts.
Yes. Well, it would just be fun then.
Yeah.
Take
I
off
was there though. That counts.
Okay, so let's go a little bit into the next question, and that is, why did you choose to cosplay those specific characters, JC? Why did you choose Destiny?
That was mathematical, actually. I had a list of 10 or 12 cosplays that I wanted to do, and I was giving them points from 1 to 10 if they were too warm, if they were varied enough, if I had a good performance plan, and so on and so on. And then I was stuck with 3 candidates that had a lot of points, and yeah, So,
Yeah.
What were the other two?
I'm not gonna tell because that will probably be my next project. But the main reason I ended up with these were that well, I had some idea about what would be good NCC costumes, and one of which reasons is that showing that you master a lot of different skills. So not just sewing, not just armor, not just makeup, but as much as possible light effects and so on and so on. So that was probably the main reason. And then it was just a gorgeous costume. It's so sexy.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very, very tech heavy.
Yep.
How about you, Kanuto? Why did you choose Thorin? Beyond
Honest-
the fact that he was that you got bribed into it.
well, honestly, it was Fun Psychon, and I didn't expect this. So I spent like 2 weeks just going, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I started something. I started on something. Then we went to like the London MCM, and I saw like the Thorins in the golden, and I did consider it. And then it was basically I looked at some of them and was like, I could do that. I could probably do that better. That was harsh, I know, but I was like, yeah, no, I see how you do it, and I like made my image of like how I wanted to do it, just basically looking at people's costume and like, yeah, no, and it doesn't look too uncomfortable. One of them looked like really uncomfortable, and I'm like, well, if we just don't make it that uncomfortable.
Yeah, we can engineer our way out of this. Well, but yeah, I think a lot of people do think that way. They, they look at other people and how they have solved things before them and go like, well, I could probably do it better or differently and make my version of it and look just as good or better. So I think that's a common thing to do.
Yep.
And why did you choose Hawk?
Basically the same reason as JC. The variety of skills needed for it. Sewing, armor, metalwork, leatherwork, lights, props.
It was just have some really amazing lights. It looks really good on stage.
It was just the perfect combination. Because for some reason, well, the costumes I've seen for males are kind of either a suit or a suit of armor. Mage Hawks just seem to be the perfect balance of everything.
Yeah, it's both armor, but it's also wearable, functional clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Sort
totally
of.
get that. So how long did you work on your costumes? Too long. Too long.
Way too long.
So, Teddy, how long did you have to work on it?
I started Hawk. Hawk has been now a project that's taken over 2 years.
Oh wow! From the first version to the second version, I assume.
Yeah, mainly because of the chainmail. Since I wanted to make the chainmail from scratch, that took almost a year just doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, because you made the rings yourself, right?
Yeah.
Every single ring, and then hooked them together. Yeah. Wow, that is meticulous.
I was sitting in class during the lectures. The whole row. There are mostly girls in my class, and many of them are knitting during the lectures. So we had a whole row with girls going knitting, 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 chainmail, knitting.
Well, you have a very crafty class, at least it seems.
Yeah, that might be because I'm studying to become a teacher in arts and crafts.
Yes, that explains a lot.
Ha! Clue.
How about you, Kanuto and JC? How long did you two spend on your costumes?
That depends on how you count for me. because I have like 3 different versions of Thorin. So I have the only thing that has actually made it through all 3 things is the wig. Everything else has been replaced. If you discount the wig, if you discount the beard, and the jacket, and the crown, and the sword, I made everything else, including the chainmail of 2,000 rings in 2 months.
Wow, you must have been working constantly.
I have a full-time job as well, so it was basically like, do I want to work on this today? No! So runs covers and just reads manga, just like, no one can make me do this today.
But you have to.
You can't make me.
But does that get to a point where the cosplay starts, not being fun for you? Or is it like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna suffer through because it's so worth it anyway, or?
Personally, I do the, sort of the procrastination issue, where basically I work hard for like 3 weeks, then it's like, no, you can't make me, and then I like start enjoying living life, and then there's more like 3 sleepless nights before the actual con, just like, I don't need
Convention syndrome, it seems. very, very, very common. And you, JC, how long did you use?
Well, the planning began earlier, but the crafting itself took 3 months with barely any sleep. And I also have a full-time job, but I took every vacation week that I had from work, and I also took a week without pay, just to be done with it. And actually worked pretty well, because the last 2 days before I left, I wasn't stressed at all. I just had some tiny things to finish, and that's the earliest I've ever finished a costume. But then, 3 unbelievable intensive months that it's just a huge black hole in my life.
I heard your husband had to come visit you in the workshop because he couldn't see you otherwise.
Yeah, he came down with a plate of food, like, careful, like you walking to an aggressive dog, and just put it down, like, there, and then smiled, and then went down again. Like, it's been 10 hours since you ate last, so perhaps you should just try to eat this and bye.
It's very thoughtful of him, at least.
Yes.
Yeah, no, so no summer holiday for you, basically? No.
Not at all.
Was it worth it?
I have one.
Yeah, it was actually worth it. It's sad, but it was worth it.
Well, you got second place, so
I did.
it did get results, obviously.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, so question number 4. How did you choose your performance? Like, how did you put them together, and how much did you have to do yourself, and how much did Natcon help you with your performances? Anyone want to start that one, or?
I can just be quick about it.
Okay.
I did everything myself. I did the timing schedules for the lights, and I got a lot of support. I talked a lot with Sophia from NCC. If did the sound seem okay, timing, so and so, and yeah. But I would say I did 98% myself of everything. Yep.
Very good. How about you, Kanuto?
Well, I did it live, so I'd like to take credits.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you chose to use your own voice when you were acting. Is there a particular reason why you chose to do that?
Mostly because that's what I've grown very comfortable with doing. It is sort of like the one outlet, like, actor-ish I get.
So it gives you something to be able to perform with your own voice.
Yeah, but I added like I wanted to add an echo to my voice since we are inside a cave. My parents commented that they thought it was something wrong with my microphone, and I was like, no, it was supposed to be like that. But yeah, they helped a lot. A few days, I think 4 days before we were going to the NCC, we were just practicing a thing, and I realized that I had sent in the wrong audio file.
Oh no!
It was missing. It was missing the last thing that Wallen says. And now I can't even remember what it is he says. He was missing like the last line that he's supposed to say before Thorin goes like completely
Batshit.
Yeah, thank you. Precisely.
I'm psychic.
So I sent like a message to Sophia, like, "Oh, here's the right one," and she was just like, "No, we sent this to the television, so it sounds okay." And I'm like, "Well, okay." And my friend was I've had this like this entire trip. My friends has been more or less freaking out for me. Like they stand on the sideline and they're like, "What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" And I'm like, "Well, I guess we have to do without then. Don't wait."
It's that simple.
It's really strange because I feel like I should probably be in your shoes and be the one freaking out. I shouldn't be the voice of reason, but I do prefer to be the voice of reason.
But sometimes when you're in the middle of it, it's kind of like you're not even there, so you can't freak out because you're just watching yourself from the outside and going, "This is weird."
Why this? But yeah, so a lot. But I have to thank my friend who was with me on stage, of course, because my friend Felix, he did a marvelous job. He made the Dwalling costume to help me to be on stage. I'm not sure if he would have made it otherwise.
Aw, so sweet.
He helped me a lot with making the throne because I was basically like, it's a prop and I have this costume to finish and I need help. So he helped me cut out like all the support and everything, and my dad helped me with the throne. And he was just basically like, let's take this old, like on movie sets type of chairs, like just unfold that, let's put on these IKEA things and just let's make it pretty. And see, now you can fold it together. And I'm like, yeah, that's great.
Awesome! Yay for dads.
Yay for dads.
And good friends. And also siblings, because JC, you had your sister with you on stage.
Yeah, I did.
She was your ghost.
Yes, and she did a perfect job. It looked even better than we had hoped. So it was great.
Yeah, it worked very
even
well.
though Ghost had a malfunction when she went on stage, he was supposed to turn like the right way when he was doing stuff, but then right before we went on stage, something malfunctioned, or the suddenly the hook didn't turn anymore, so she was panicking. But she managed well, and the TV only caught me most of the time, so it didn't really matter. It looked great.
Yeah,
but I think she had a panic attack just before we went on stage.
Oh, poor Reed. Such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You always freak out over little things that go wrong when you're going on stage, but then you realize that the audience doesn't know that something isn't working as it should, because you're the only one who knows. But you're still gonna freak out about it. It's an evil circle. So Teddy, how about you? How did you plan your stage show?
I did a fighting sequence at Turocon, and I sort of just to evolve that thing. So I got a friend to be a bandit, and so, okay, we need to create a duo fight sequence where I will kick your ass. Doing a solo fight sequence is easy.
Yes.
Doing a duo fight sequence, choreographed fight sequence, without the bandit. Basically, we had 2-3 days to practice before we left for Narcon.
Did you have any like scene practice, like fighting scene practice, or is it everything just self-taught?
I have some experience with martial arts.
That
And,
helps.
yeah, that helps a lot. I have some years with Taekwondo, which is basically stage fighting. It's just well, that style I trained was the show style, the one to make the moves look perfect.
Well,
Not,
I think it was
not the
possible to
fighting.
tell from the way it looked on stage because you guys were very on point.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like half-hearted. Like there was,
Yeah.
some proper technique behind
Yeah,
the punches.
I was drilling Vegard pretty hard on that. So I wanted things to look like it hurt, like it connected.
Well, mission accomplished.
Thank you.
But you also had some very impressive, like, lightning and fire going on the
Yes.
screens in the background. Now, was that you, or was that Narcon, or how did that come about?
That was help. The flames were some free animations I found on YouTube. The same flames I used on my show at Toricon. But I've always been more of a primal mage. To have the elemental mage, which uses fire and ice, and the primal mage who uses electricity. And I always loved the electricity. So I got Daniel Lange to help me to animate the lightnings.
Very cool. Because we were all wondering when we were looking at the stage how much of the things you had set up on your own. And it's fun to know that you pretty much make it 100% yourself. You only get a little bit of help from Narcon.
Yeah, that is something I always trying to do. I'm afraid to rely on the tech crew because my experience that the tech crew will fuck my shit up.
Yes.
I still haven't forgiven BonsaiCon for last year for every time I was on stage. All 3 times I was on stage, they forgot to turn on my microphone.
No.
All the 3 times.
I think Heresitai also was a little pissed after her performance at Desicon, where no one could hear her at all.
Yeah, we
That
don't talk about that.
No.
Let's not.
Okay, so next question. How did it feel, like, before and while you were on the stage and afterwards? Like, what was the emotional journey for you guys?
I hated it.
Really? Why?
I was the first one out.
Oh yeah, that sucks. That's all.
Yeah, both to the prejudging and on stage, I was the first one out. Normally, I can deal with that. I hate it, but I can deal with that because naturally, everything will be judged based on you if you're the first one out. But the worst part was the show round because we've been through the grand rehearsal, but we were just told what was going to happen. We had no idea how much time it would actually take. I was sitting there and waiting and waiting and waiting, and I was actually prepared, and I had to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait.
Horrible.
It was horrible.
And also, you don't know how the crowd is when you go out there when you're first, and also it's easy to forget the first performance that you see, and that also sucks.
Well, I think I left an impression.
Yes, I
did. You did. You were not forgotten.
As a viewer, you were like the perfect person to start the show because it was so on point and so good. So I was like really psyched for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm always a little bit nervous. I'm calm before the show, then I'm a little bit nervous just before the show. But as soon as I put my foot on stage, everything is okay.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm also really nervous before the show. Like, I have to pee or whatever, but as soon as you're on the stage, it's like, oh yeah, no, I'm home. I can do this.
I'm kind of opposite because before the show and right before I go on stage or do whatever, I'm like, it doesn't matter. But then when I open my mouth or do anything, I just get these horrible shakes.
Aw.
So I'm a terrible poker player.
Did you learn that recently?
Yes. No, yeah.
Yeah, she played poker last weekend or something like that. So, inside joke. Yeah. How about JC and Kanuto? How did you guys feel?
I think I was a real brat behind stage because when the show starts, I just get this adrenaline rush. So while every other contestant, we were in each our place just waiting, and everyone was sitting there with blankets on them, freezing, and some were nervous, some were this, that, and I was standing there and I was dancing and I was woo party under the whole pre-show. And I was like, yeah, let's do this.
I can imagine everyone thinking, "Oh, shut up."
I was trying to lift the mood, so I would like to think that, although some people might think that I was a real pain, someone was actually kind of entertained.
Why couldn't you be standing closer to me?
Aww.
Next time.
But I could tell that you were psyched because in the intro movie that they did of you, you were dancing there and you turned your back and like shook your booty and whatever. So.
But you know, that was me calm. I was a lot worse before that. I was actually starting to get a bit tired by that point.
Okay, so
yeah, but the adrenaline, the kick, just I heard the crowd, the music started, and although it was almost an hour before we went on, or I don't remember how long it was, but I was dancing all the way through it, and the adrenaline was through the roof, and yeah,
so no sugar
I was
for
a
you.
party. No, I don't need any sugar when I'm going on stage. I was just so happy that it was going to be over, and it's just so awesome to be on stage, and the NatCon crew, the NatCon audience was on fire, so it was amazing.
Seemed like it.
Yeah.
It looked so amazing. I was sitting here in my couch alone at home, and we're like, yeah. It was so much fun.
I think last episode we talked about that we need a time machine so we can go back and be at NatCon because we want to go now. We can't wait until next year. We wish you could have been there.
Yeah.
And how about you, Kanuto? How did you feel?
I think I was almost inappropriately calm. Basically, I was standing next to Lotta from Sweden. She was cosplaying Hiccup, and I was trying to like bribe her into like dealing with my dragon problem in Arable. We were just basically messing around, and like at some point, like the crew would come up and they're like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Why? Does it look like I'm not?" They're like, "No, just are you okay?" "Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. It's a perfect temperature. Everything is good."
Well, yeah, because you were wearing fur, so you weren't cold or anything.
I was wearing a lot. Just basically just hanging around, like, not like really psyched, just like, this is fun. This is nice.
Yeah, it seems like it's very nice to be you. You seem like a very calm, collected person.
Oh yeah. More people should try to be.
It's quite annoying, actually.
Yeah, I think I might have been annoyed too if I was standing next to you, like. Yeah. Now, the last time someone asked me, "Are you okay?" was when I was at the dentist and I fell asleep in the chair.
That is so fun.
Huh?
That is so fun.
Yeah, well, but because, you know, I had braces for like 4 years, so after 4 years of dentistry, you're not really that afraid anymore. It's like, yeah, okay, do your business.
Yeah, no, I did that
I
in
do not
Czechia, like, last
agree on
week.
that statement.
I fell asleep like in Czechia when they like did my teeth in Czechia.
Oh, really?
In the Czech Republic. Like basically they were talking and I don't understand. So and it was right after Narcon and I was just so tired and I was at that point where basically just I can sleep now.
Anything is a bed.
Yes, just really inappropriately falling asleep everywhere. I fell asleep on the underground and my parents are like, really? It's like back when you were 3 and I'm like, Sorry.
Sounds very adorable, though.
I think we should jump through some of the questions because
Yes.
I can see that most of them have already been answered. So, is this something that you guys want to do again? Like the Narcon thing?
Not this year.
In a few years.
I agree to that.
It's a Herculean task.
I was stressing so much this summer because of school. I was so delayed on everything, but I wanted to fix everything, and for each thing I fixed, I found two new things to fix. So I was so stressed. I was actually sitting with a prepared email to the NCC saying I wanted to quit.
Oh, poor baby.
So I took a week off at my cabin. I knew I was going to be even more stressed afterwards, but I needed that week without cosplay.
Yeah,
course.
sometimes you just need to load up your batteries, even though
Yeah.
you're gonna use them up.
So yeah, not going to happen for a couple of years.
I can understand that. It sounds very taxing.
It is.
I'm kind of curious. How would you describe Narcon as a convention, like compared to, for instance, Desicon?
That was not scripted, okay?
I didn't go to Desicon for a few years, so I can't really make the comparison since a few years ago, but I hear it hasn't gotten better.
No, it hasn't.
No.
They're kind of, på stedet hvil. They're not changing, at least not fast enough. Although they have expanded, but I think they maybe should concentrate on upping their game first.
Narcon was okay this year.
Only okay?
Yeah, I don't. There's been always. Facebook has always already been overrun by complaints. Yeah, so I've been to a couple of previous Narcons. They were better, but Narcon is still good. It was just not as good as they have been.
It's like anything in particular you can like put your finger on that wasn't as good as it has been before.
I personally didn't see the con at
Yeah,
all.
I think, yeah, same.
Like basically, when I finally went out
that
to
was
see
the
the
problem.
con, it was like 2 a.m. and it was just basically like, well, it's not much happening here. We ended up in the ball pit, just okay.
Exactly. The first couple of days were only about the NCC, and then the third day it was pouring, so I didn't get to see much of Narcon then either. And Sunday everyone was leaving, and I was just depressed because everyone was leaving.
Wow.
Well, I guess that's what happens when you're competing. You don't really get that time to actually participate. Which
It's
is
a shame.
sad. Sad but awesome. So bittersweet, I guess. Okay, so let's move on to like the more personal questions, because we've got a specific question for each of you. So we can start with Teddy. And I think you've kind of already answered this, but we'll go through it anyway. And that is why you chose to.
I was saving the answer.
Yeah. So why did you choose to go with the same cosplay at NCC as you did when you qualified for the NCC?
That is a personal thingy of mine. I've been brought up with Eurovision and these things. So for me, if you qualify for a competition, you are supposed to step up in the same thing as you qualified it. That's how my brain works. So I qualified in Hawk, which means for me it was just it felt right to go up in Hawk.
And I can understand that. It is, after all, an award-winning cosplay. So, and also a very
Let's face it, he's the best male Hawk cosplayer ever.
yes,
So.
I agree.
Yes, I do too.
Thank you.
Yes, very win. Much wow, as they say.
I'm actually wondering of one thing. Are you wearing a wig as Hawk, or is it your natural hair?
That is my natural hair.
So you keep it that way just so you can cosplay Hawk, or is that just how you prefer it in general?
Yeah, both.
That is an acceptable answer.
Yeah. I used to have really long hair, but 2 years ago I cut it off. So and after that I thought, hey, this actually feels good, and hey, it actually suits the character.
Hey,
Ah!
2 in 1.
Yes.
But yeah, I used to have hair, down to, beneath my boobs. I don't anymore. This is a wig, of course. And all the weight that just leaves your head when you cut off that long hair is amazing.
My hair is, had by that point been used to 8 years of long hair. So when everything was cut off, the hair went whee! Hey, all the weight is gone. We can reach for the sky.
Okay, so JC, you only use the name JC, and is that to build a brand, or what is the reason behind that fact?
It's not for building a brand. The TV host at NCC said that, and I have no idea where that came from. He said it with so much conviction that I have no clue where it came from.
Yeah, because I was wondering about that, but because I think someone in our community had asked you that before, and that was not the answer you had given. So I was like,
No.
This doesn't sound like JC.
Nope. It's just because I like to keep my private life and my cosplay life a bit separate. It's that easy.
That is understandable.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't want everyone to know that you're crazy, basically.
I don't like people to Google to find it out. I don't mind telling people that I'm crazy face to face. So
Yeah,
that's it.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
And then Kanuto, the last question is you favorize male characters, exemplified by Thorin. Yes. So what is the reason behind that?
That is a very good question.
I do my homework.
Leg day.
Someone is hungry. With my dog. I right now he's gonna
I don't know if you saw earlier, but she jumped up and
Yeah. I want to be a part of the podcast too.
Feed me, woman. In a minute. But yeah, no. You know what? My first cosplay ever was of a female, and I think maybe it was because that was sort of a bad experience as the first costume, because the skirt was so short that I always had to pull it down, and it made me really uncomfortable. Now the thing with male characters is that they're usually wearing pants. They don't always wear a shirt for some weird reason. I don't have an issue with that. Oh, you don't have a shirt? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, you said you did your homework. Look at my history. Dante from Devil May Cry 3,
Yeah.
Dracula, Alucard now.
Yes, there's a lot of chest. There is. But, I mean, you can just take those puppies and everything is fine. So, yeah. And JC has Fenris, which she did a casual version of, so...
No pictures.
People can find them on their own when they stalk you on Facebook.
That is one of the reasons I keep my private life separate from my cosplay life.
Yes. Understandable.
But
So-
yeah, so...
Yeah. It's
But
more
you can
comfortable.
be a male character and walk around in 11-inch heels, so you can still be very uncomfortable. That's not it.
Yeah.
That's your guarantee that you will wear pants.
Well, I can understand that because I have an aversion to towards very, explicitly sexy characters, with a lot of bare skin, especially when the skirts are so short or you're just wearing a thong or whatever. I couldn't do that. Kudos to those who feel comfortable that way, but for me, it's just no, I couldn't because I would feel naked.
Yeah, I was very self-conscious when I were wearing Kira mats just because of the low cleavage showing.
Yeah, because there's no room for a bra or anything under there. It's just like, hello!
Yeah.
Right. Well, we are wow, we are over time already. But I think we got the answers for most of our questions. I don't think we have any viewer questions, but then again, we have been answering a lot. So
We had a lot of questions ourselves, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been room.
there wasn't any room for you anyway, so shut up.
Yeah, now I would have to make a sequel or
Yeah,
something.
maybe. But let's move into our final segment before we shut this puppy down. And that is, have you watched, read, or played anything interesting lately?
A lot of Assassin's Creed, and I've watched everything there is of Orange is the New Black, and I have played a lot of Where is Waldo on my phone.
Right. Good for you. Well, I was going to play a lot of Witcher 3, but didn't get around to it because we had an RPG weekend at some friends of ours. So we've played Rise of the Rune Lords and Pathfinder, and also Cards Against Humanity, which I won. So I'm an awful person in theory.
Yes, everyone who's played Cards Against Humanity are going to hell.
Yes.
We're so proud of it.
Yes, extremely.
Yeah.
Never ever Google something from Cards Against Humanity if you don't know what it is. Just let it be. I know.
Yeah. I have just started my new job right now, so I've a lot of things to set myself into, to learn, stuff like that. So I've been very tired when I've gotten home, just falling asleep on the couch. So, but I have watched second season with Under the Dome. Can't wait for the third season. And I've bought myself a little birthday present, which is the complete series of MacGyver.
So awesome.
Yes, so I'm starting to look through them when I have time.
Richard Dean Anderson forever.
Yes, I even got the shirt that looks like the one he wears in the first episode.
That is commitment.
Yeah, of course. I've just met him. I have to go all out now.
So how about you guys? Have you been watching or reading, gaming, anything fun?
Well, my reward after the NCC has been playing The Witcher, so every waking minute I can get, I play The Witcher.
And how are you liking it so far?
Yeah. Definitely going to be a cosplay from The Witcher.
Yeah.
We're gonna join. We'll be at least 2 people.
Yes. I'm gonna make another Witcher cosplay as well.
Good.
Very cool. So we're 3.
Yeah.
How about you, Kanuto?
On Monday, I started playing Murdered, Soul Suspect.
Oh, I've seen that. It seems like a very interesting game.
I was done on Wednesday. Even though we had like social gatherings, a party at Thursday, there was like lots of things that were happening. Like basically, like I'm supposed to shower now before the party. Thanks. I really liked it. I found it to be really cool.
Well, yeah, I think it's fair to say that anything you finish that fast is a good game.
You interrogate a cat. Of course it's
I must have it now.
What did you see? Tell me. Okay, good.
Yes. And you, Teddy?
Yeah, I've been rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender. I finished the last episode earlier today.
Oh, it's so cute.
Time
Such a
well
sweet
spent.
Very much.
Yes. I still have a Zuko cosplay in my closet. I lacking the boots.
Oh, you must finish it.
Do it.
Yes, do it.
I might actually have an occasion to finish it now. So yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, that's pretty much the whole show. I think we can finish it up by, just letting people know where they can find you. Like if you have any web pages or any Facebook pages, so people can, go in and give you a like. Like JC, where can people find you?
Fandomily Cosplay on Instagram, Facebook, and we have fandomily.wordpress.com if you want to see our gallery. And I also just started a tutorial page blog thing, which is fandomilyworkshop.wordpress.com.
There you have it, folks. And Kanuto, where can people find you?
Facebook mostly. Kanuto Cosplay on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes so people can find it. And Teddy, where can people find you?
Yes, you go 3 miles north, take to the left, and there you'll find a cute little pub called the Fuzzy Teddy Inn on Facebook.
Oh.
And on a side note, people usually call you the Teddy Fuzzy Inn because they can't get the... Several have done it on the show, actually.
Yeah, I do it all the time just because I do have some sort of reading and writing disorder thing, so...
And I'm just bad
jump over each other.
remembering names.
Right. So, Annabella, you can be found on Facebook as well?
Yes, I can. Under Annabella Cosplay, I think.
Yeah, that was a hard one.
Extremely.
And Enyassia?
And that's, of course, Enyassia Cosplay on Facebook.
Yes. And I can be found under Pixiedust in one word, Pixiedust Cosplay on Facebook, and also Anita Pixiedust on Instagram if you want to follow me there. And also you can follow the CosCast at facebook.com/CosCast. We're pretty easy to find, so follow our page there and you'll get plenty of updates on our upcoming shows during the next season. And I think next week we're going to try to have a special about body paint for those of you who are interested in that, so stay tuned. We're going to try to get some guests on to get some expertise advice, so looking forward to that.
Yes.
Yes. It's been super fun to have you guys on. We are honored that you all agreed to come host our little show.
You are awesome!
Yes, you're awesome.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, and you're also very welcome to come back if you ever just want to join as a guest host or have something you want to share with people. Please do. We are always open for new.
Do it.
Yes, do it. So that's everything for tonight's show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And join us next Sunday for another episode of the CosCast. Bye!
Bye!